Podcasting is networking. Café and Networking Podcast promotes entrepreneurs, startups, authors, business experts throughout the world. I'm Tom Reaoch, known as the King of Networking, connecting people and speaking from my studio in Vinhedo, São Paulo, Brazil. And today we talk with Angie Hyche, and she's joining us from Kingsport, Tennessee in the United States. Angie is an author, a certified professional organizer, and business owner of ShipShape Solutions. She provides custom organizing services for residential or business settings. Angie loves speaking and writing about organizing as much as doing the actual organizing work. Her book, Unholy Mess, What the Bible Says About Clutter, was published on Amazon. Angie, I guess I'm a real sinner. What are your top decluttering tips?
Good morning. Thank you. Yeah. So before I tell you my top tips, I want to make sure people understand what clutter is. And we think it's a simple concept, but it's good to be on the same page of it. We tend to think about it in terms of piles of stuff, but really it's a lot broader than that. Mm-hmm. Clutter is anything that distracts us from our priorities. So that could be our physical clutter of our stuff, but it can also be schedule clutter of a calendar and to-do list that's packed full of things that don't serve us well. Uh-huh. It can be attention or mental clutter, lack of focus, including too much time on digital devices, worry, regrets. It's really broad.
Well,
so
I'm a real sinner then. I'm a sinner all over the place.
Well, you and me both. So decluttering tips. I love to talk about them. And I like to break it down really easy. So if I start with physical clutter of our stuff, to determine whether something is clutter, I think I usually ask two simple questions about an object, and that is, do I love it and do I use it? Mm-hmm. And if you can't answer yes confidently to both, then you ought to seriously consider whether that item is clutter. If it's not doing you any it's not serving you well, right, adding value to your life, then it's probably clutter. And although I love a big hours-long closet cleanup more than just about anybody, I think one of the easiest tips is what I call daily decluttering, which is where you just have one container somewhere easily accessible. As soon as you see anything anywhere in your house that you don't love and use, you drop it in that container. When it fills up, you donate it to whatever your favorite donation place. And you do it over and over and over.
So that's the decluttering outlet.
Yes. And everyone should know where that's located. So whether it's your 10th spatula or a shirt that's too small or whatever, you just drop it in there and then donate it when it's full. It's very easy. A lot of clutter is the result of not having homes for everything in your home or business. Everything should have a place it belongs.
Right.
And then when you finish using it, it should go back to its place. And that simple concept can prevent a lot of clutter.
That's a simple concept, but I think the person I even fight with that because back to the point, we waste a lot of time trying to find things so we can't remember where it is or they are.
Absolutely. Yes. Another thing that causes a lot of physical clutter is lack of consistency with daily habits. And the three that I see that cause the most issues are laundry, dishes, and daily pickup.
You should come here.
Yeah. So I go in houses where I'll see 15 baskets of clean clothes that never get put up, or the sink that's never emptied of the dishes, and things that live on counters when they really have a place they belong. We just don't take the time to put them back. And if we do small things consistently are more important than big actions every 3 to 6 months. So, taking 5 minutes at the end of the day to kind of reset and put things back does wonders.
What I've tried to do after I found you on Podmatch and started thinking about this in a structured way, and I'm still trying, I'm not there yet, But what I find, I'm a morning person, so I get up in the morning and I try to do a little decluttering when I'm up, and I can see that. And clutter actually confuses us. It's irritating when you start paying attention to it. So the less clutter, the cleaner the tabletop or the counter, even my workspace. And I'm in my workspace all the time. So that's my focal point, how to declutter where I work and be able to focus on what I'm trying to do. So
right. Clutter really does a number on us. I mean, we waste time and money. It causes us to have a lack of focus. There's a link between clutter and depression, clutter and excess weight, clutter and decreased academic performance in school-age children. It's a danger to us, a fire risk, a tripping hazard. I mean, I could go on and on. Clutter really affects us more than we think. It's like a visual reminder of all the things we have to do. And no wonder we have trouble focusing on what we want to focus on, because there's so much clutter around us physically or on our calendars or in our minds. So the more we can clear that, the more we can focus on what's really important to us.
Wow. We're talking about the house, the counter, and the business place. We start talking about what's inside my head, we're going to be here all day.
Oh, that's the hardest one for me. My house is not a cluttered place. Everything is at home, but I tend to fill my schedule too full, my to-do list too full, and the mental clutter is really a difficult issue for me.
Well, I think not only for you, that's for everybody. And even today, again, where everything's digital, most of our time is on the web in one way, shape, or form. Trying to organize our personal agenda and coincide that with other people's agendas is a real challenge.
Yes, I've had to do a lot of work personally with the attention clutter. One of the biggest sources for me, and I think many people, is too much time on our digital devices. I came out of some real cell phone addiction, especially with Facebook, email, those kinds of things. And the damage in that kind of situation can damage relationships.
Right.
My family begged me for years to get off my phone. I'm embarrassed to admit that it took me that long. But it's amazing when you start clearing the clutter, whatever type it is, how you're able to focus more. And I'm so glad that I was able to see that and make some changes.
Well, Angie, I'm so glad I was able to speak with you, because seriously, this is a key point. This is a bother, not only to me, but as you said, to everyone. And many times we don't realize how much our clutter is bothering the others. And whether that's stuff that's digital, on phone, online, on whatever. And I think we need to be aware. So if I do read your book, what the Bible says about clutter, the unholy mess, do you still think there's salvation?
Oh, absolutely. No one's ever beyond help. So,
well, Angie, I want to thank you. We're coming to the end of our show. I want to thank you for your time. Fantastic insight. And I can't wait to get off, because I want to start decluttering my own office here right now, because I'm sort of ashamed of talking about uncluttering, and I'm all cluttered here. So thanks again for taking part. Thank you. And for our audience, I want to remind you, it's Angie Hyche, and it's Angie, and her last name is Hyche, Hyche. You'll find her on LinkedIn or her site, which is shipshape.solutions, shipshape.solutions. And the book Unholy Mess, you'll find that on Amazon. So thanks again, Angie. Thank you so much, Tom. Café and Networking is brought to us by Focus Semi-Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information on their website, www.focusmi.com. Thanks for listening until the next time here at Café and Networking Podcast.